In my previous video, I have taught you about the first chapter of your Part 1 English book. The chapter was My Greatest Olympic Prize, written by J.C. Winston. Now this is the second chapter on examinations, written by Winston S. Churchill. So let's start from the warm-up of Unit 1. Examinations for many are not a pleasant experience. Examination for many children, many students, is not a pleasant experience. The apprehension of not doing well makes even bright students anxious. Examinations are not suitable because some students, even bright students, think that if we will not do good in examination, what will happen? That will make them anxious about what will happen if we will not score that mark, that rank, that grade. What will our parents say? What will our relatives say? That will make them anxious. Okay? Read the following unit of the text and note how the writer took his entrance examination in Harrow School, public school. So let's start. So the chapter, I will teach you the chapter like story, because if I will teach you like a text, then it will not be quite well understood. Okay, so let's start. So I had scarcely passed my 12th birthday when I entered the inhospitable regions of examination, through which for the next 7 years I was destined to journey. Okay, when he passed, the writer Winston Churchill passed his 12th birthday, he suddenly entered in inhospitable regions of examination. He faced examination after his 12th birthday. This will be a question. For next 7 years, till from his 12th birthday till 7 years. Okay, these examinations were a great trial to me. The subjects which were dearest to the examiners were almost invariably those I fancied least. So the subjects which the examiners liked were not liked by me, by the writer Winston Churchill. I would have liked to have been examined in history, poetry, and writing essays. So Churchill liked history, poetry, and writing essays, but the examiners did not like it. They liked something else which the writer did not like. The examiners, on the other hand, were partial to Latin and mathematics. So the examiners liked what? Latin and mathematics. Whereas the narrator, Winston Churchill, liked history, poetry, and writing essays. And their will prevailed. So obviously what the examiners liked will prevail. So the Latin and mathematics were prevailed. Moreover, the questions which they asked on both the subjects were almost invariably those to which I was unable to suggest a satisfactory answer. So the teachers, the examiners, asked the questions from Latin and mathematics. Those questions they asked, which was unanswerable by the writer. The writer could not answer those questions which were asked by the examiners. I should have liked to be asked to say what I knew. Everyone likes to be asked those questions which he or she is able to answer. So, like that, Churchill was also liked to be asked those questions which answer he knew. They always tried to ask what I did not know. Oh my god. So the examiners were so much cruel that they asked those questions which Churchill even did not know the answer. When I have willingly displayed my knowledge, they sought to expose my ignorance. This short treatment had only one result: I did not do well in examination. So, when often he tried to display his knowledge, to flex his knowledge, the teachers opposed him and exposed his ignorance by asking difficult questions. So that resulted in that the narrator did not do well in examination. How can a child do well when the teachers are opposing him to display his knowledge? So, how can a child do well when teachers are opposing him to display his knowledge? So it is impossible. So Churchill did not do well in examinations. This was especially true of my entrance examination to Harrow. So this is where we are. The entrance examination of Harrow. We read it in the warm-up that what happened in the entrance examination is in Harrow to Harrow. We will read in this unit. So let's start. So this was especially true in my entrance examination to Harrow. The headmaster, Dr. Weldon, who was the headmaster of Harrow, Dr. Weldon, however, took a broad-minded view of my Latin prose. He showed discernment in judging my general ability. So Dr. Weldon, the headmaster of Harrow, took a broad-minded view of the narrator's Latin prose paper. He showed a discernment in judging his general ability. How? This was more remarkable because I was found unable to answer a single question in the Latin paper. So this is very surprising because the narrator did not answer a single question in Latin paper. So this is a remarkable type of judgment by Dr. Weldon. So think, if you did not write a single question's answer, then what will your teacher do? What will your teacher do? He will make you fail. But Dr. Weldon did not do that. He made Churchill passed. Sorry. He made Churchill passed. So this is very, very surprising. I wrote my name at the top of the page. So he is saying what he wrote in the Latin paper. So this is very, very interesting. I wrote my name at the top of the page. I wrote down the number of the question. After much reflection, I put brackets around it like this. So he only wrote his name on the top of the page. He wrote down the number of the question, made quotation, then made brackets, and then nothing. But thereafter I could not think of anything connected with it that was either relevant or true. So after that he could not think anything relevant or true of this question. So Inc- uh, incidentally, there arrived from nowhere in particular a blot and several smudges. So he could not think anything. He was in depression, he cried, and a blot and similar smudges, a blot was created by smudges, tears. I wrote here tears. Smudges is tears. Blot is stain. Stain was created by tears. He was crying. I gazed for 2 whole hours at this sad spectacle, and then merciful user attendant collected my piece of cap with all the others and carried it up to the headmaster's table. So after 2 whole hours he was gazing towards the paper, and after some time, after 2 hours, the attendant collected that paper with the papers of other students and took it to the headmaster's table. It was from these slender indications of scholarship that Dr. Weldon drew the conclusion that I was worthy to pass in Harrow. So here the decision of Weldon comes. He Weldon drew the conclusion that Winston Churchill was worthy to pass in Harrow, even after answering no questions in the entrance examination of Latin paper. How is it possible? Even today is not possible. No teacher, no headmaster will allow you to go to school without answering any single question of a paper of entrance examination. So this was very surprising. It is very much to his credit. I saw that he was a man capable of looking beneath the surface of things. A man not dependent upon the paper manifestations have always had the greatest regard for him. So he thought that Weldon is not that kind of man who needed paper manifestation of a student. He was able to look beneath the surface of things. He was able to look, to feel the inner talent of a child, because every child have talent. In consequence of his decision, I was due course placed in the third of the lowest division of the four, or bottom. So he was placed in the third lowest division of the fourth standard. He was in fourth standard and the third division in fourth class. He was the last student of the third division of fourth class. The name of the new boys were printed in the school list in alphabetical order. As my correct name is Spencer Churchill, begin with S, I gained no more advantage from the alphabet than from the wider sphere of letter. So his name was Spencer Churchill, and the list of new students were written in order to the alphabetical order. So he was started from S. So he gained no advantage. S is after Q, R, and S. After R. So his name was not written first. He was nearer from the last, because Y, Z alphabet has no name. So S was more or less at the last of the list. So so he gained no advantage other than wider sphere of letter. Spencer Churchill, big name. I was in fact only 2 from the bottom. He was above 2 students from the bottom, and soon they too also disappeared, because of illness or other causes. So he was last. The Harrow custom of calling the roll number is different from the Eton. So before Harrow he was studying in Eton. a school. Okay, Harrow was situated in northwest London. Okay, I wrote here. Okay, so how the roll calling system is different from Eton? At Eton, boys stand in a cluster and lifted their hats when their names are called. Ram, when their names are called. Ram took his hat. I called Gopal. Gopal took his hat. So this was the system of calling roll in Eton. Boys standed in a cluster and lift their hats when their names are called by attendant. At Harrow, the file passed a master in schoolyard and answer one by one. Okay. So in Harrow, the file passed a master in schoolyard and the students answer one by one. This was difference. Okay. My position was there. My position was therefore revealed in its somewhat invidious humility. So, because in Harrow you have to answer one by one when the file passed a master in schoolyard, so the position of Winston Spencer Churchill was revealed with humility. So he felt humiliated because he was last. How it fails to be the last student of your class. It is so much insulting. Like nothing is being insulted, but in student life, everyone feels the insult. It was the year 1887. Lord Randolph Churchill had only just resigned his position as the leader of House of Commons and the Chancellor of Exchequer. So Randolph Churchill, who was Randolph Churchill? The father of Winston Spencer Churchill. So it was 1887 when Randolph Churchill resigned the position of leader of the House of Commons and the Chancellor of Exchequer. And he still towered in the forefront of politics, but he was still in the forefront of politics. So in the consequence, large number of visitors of both sexes, male and female, used to wait on the school steps in order to see me march by and frequently hear the irrelevant comment, "Why he's last of all." So because Randolph Churchill was a big figure of politics, the males, females of nearby area came to watch Winston Churchill. He is a son of Randolph Churchill, a big man, but why he is last? So they were all asking this irrelevant question. Okay, so this was also insulting for Winston Churchill. So I think you all are well understood. This is the first unit of on examinations written by Winston Churchill. So in my next video I will cover the other 3 next 3 units. Okay, so till then, if you like my content, then like, share and subscribe my channel in large number to increase my reach. Thank you for watching my video.